guys, it's Adrian. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with the family of books tag. I was tagged to do this video by Lisa from Brand New Booksmell, and I will leave her channel along with the original creator's channel in the description box below. The first question is a parent, the book that gives you a hug when you need it the most. Don't laugh at me, but the book that I'm going with for this question is The Providence and Rhode Island Cookbook by Linda Bulio. I don't know, that's probably not at all how you pronounce her last name. The reason that I picked this book is because I live in the Netherlands, but I grew up in the state of Rhode Island, and Rhode Island is the smallest state in the country, and it is also the ocean state. So there's a lot of seafood, but not only that, it's a very multicultural state. So you get lots of different culture, lots of different cuisines. So a big part of Rhode Island culture is food. On top of that, I grew up as an Italian American, so eating makes me happy. So when I need a hug, I need to eat food. And when I think of needing a hug and food, I think of home, and that to me is still my home. It's where I grew up. So this book gives me the home feeling that I need when I'm feeling sad or when I just need a hug, and it gives me the food that comforts my belly. So comforting hugs, this is what I think of. So I'm going for a cookbook, you know. You should really check out this cookbook though, guys. It's got such good food in it. The second question is another parent, a book that gives you morals to live by. It's probably no surprise because you can see it in most of my videos, but I am a Christian, and so the book that I'm going with is the Holy Bible. It's got a bazillion, trillion, million pages. That's a little over exaggerating, but lots and lots of pages of morals and codes of conduct to live by. So, the Bible. Next up is A Younger Sibling, a book that's so cute it's annoying. For this one I'm going with a children's book, and that's Guess How Much I Love You by Sam McBratney. This book is so cute. My oldest got this from my mom when she was like a year old, and it's been one of their favorites. It's about this little bunny, and he has an older brother, I guess. I don't know. He's called Little Hair and Big Hair. And Little Hair keeps saying, I love you this much as I can open my arms, or as much as I can jump high. And it's the cutest little thing, and this Big Hair keeps outmatching him. I can jump higher, my arms are longer. And so you kind of get frustrated with this big rabbit, because you think, just let this little rabbit tell you how much he loves you. Like, what's the big deal? But the end of the story is so cute. I want to read you the last page. It says, then he lay down close by and whispered with a smile, I love you right up to the moon and back. It's just, this book is adorable, absolutely adorable. It's one of my favorite children's books, but it is so annoying. The next question is The Older Sibling, the book that no other book can live up to. I am the older sibling in my family. I am the oldest of 3 children, and I am practically perfect in every way. For this one, I am going with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This was my first book that introduced me into any magical realm, and I have been chasing that feeling ever since, I think. This was the first book that I read that I actually could escape from real life and enter into this world that I wished I could be a part of, because it was so cool. I read this book for the first time when I was in 5th grade. I was, I think, like 10 or 11, and I was going through a really difficult time. And this book just allowed me to be able to escape that and live the life of these 4 children that went through the wardrobe. And since then, I have been able to find no book that can live up to this book. I'm sorry, it's just not possible. So now we have a grandparent, an old book with wisdom that has a certain smell. This one was difficult for me because I don't have a sense of smell. I can smell nothing. Very few things, really strong, potent things I can just maybe barely register as a smell, but I just don't have a sense of smell. I don't know why, I just don't. So the smelly thing I can't really answer, but an old favorite with wisdom was easy enough. And for that one, I am going with The Velveteen Rabbit. Again, along with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I heard this book for the first time when I was about 10, when my family was going through a very difficult time. My mom read it to us one night. And this book spoke especially to my mom in leaps and bounds on what it is to be really loved. And since then, my mom goes every year to a home for women who are rehabilitating from drug and alcohol and any other kind of abuse in life, and she reads this to them every Christmas. I gotta be quick because my battery is dying. 4 videos kind of sucks the life out of your battery. The next question isn't on the book that you read when you need to feel emotions. For this one, I'm going with Handle with Care by Jodi Picoult. This is a book about a little girl named Willow, and she has this disease where her bones are brittle and they break. And it follows her and her mother, who files a lawsuit against her friend, who was also her OBGYN, I think. And she files this lawsuit that basically says, had you told me that my daughter would have had this syndrome, I would have had an abortion. And it talks about the mother's journey, the daughter's journey, and it's just heartbreaking. And when I really just need to feel sad and be okay with feeling sad, especially because I myself have a disability, this is the book that I read. This is a beautiful, very powerful book that I need to read when I need to feel my emotions. And next up is An Uncle, a book that makes you laugh. I need some suggestions for this because I don't have any particularly funny books. I have a very particular sense of humor. I like the very dry, sarcastic, almost on the verge of rude sense of humor. So I've got 2 that have elements of humor in them. And the first one I've mentioned several times now already is The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. And the second one I just started reading, and that's Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. And what I like about this one is that the people at the Institute banter a lot. They're just like bickering children, and I think it's fantastic. It made me chuckle. But I would really like to read a funny book. If you can glean my sense of humor from these 2 books, let me know what kind of books you enjoyed that are funny, because I just need to know. I need funny books. I do enjoy them. I just don't read a lot of them. Last question is A Child, the book that changed your life forever. I don't actually have a copy of this book because it changed my life in such a drastic way that I gave it to one of my family members. And the book that I'm talking about is The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. This is a book, a parable or an allegory about a man or a boy named Ordinary. And Ordinary lives in the land of familiar. And Ordinary is visited by the Dream Giver, who gives him a dream. And it follows Ordinary's journey on letting go of the land of familiar and traveling into the unknown and following his dream. Now, the reason that this book is so powerful and so special to me is that, for those of you who don't know, I have a syndrome called Dumorche syndrome, which basically means that I'm legally blind, and I have my pituitary gland is underdeveloped, and that causes some other issues. And because of that, my whole life I was told that I had to stay where I was, and I wasn't going to be able to do very many things. Things were predicted over my life that kind of held me and sheltered me and made me afraid to step out. And one day I was given a dream, and I felt like I was really meant to do that dream, and that dream was to move here to the Netherlands. And a friend of mine gave me this book, and she believed in me, and she was one of the only people at that time that believed in me. And she said, read this book, it will help you, and I believe in the dream that you've been given, and I believe that you can do what you were meant to do. And so I read this book, and it really helped me make the choice to step out and to believe that I could move to another country and I could be a successful woman in my own right, and I didn't have to believe the labels that were put on my life. I didn't have to believe that I would be defined by my handicap, but I could let my handicap be a part of who I am. It changed my life. I moved to the Netherlands. I achieved what I wanted to achieve. So this book absolutely changed my life. That's my child, and that's a little story about me. Don't mean to be sappy, but you know, it's the answer to the question. So, and now comes the fun part. People that I'm going to tag. I am going to tag Brittany from Brittany Reads. I am going to tag Meg from Meg Talks Life. I am going to tag Katie from Life Between Words. And I'm going to tag Ben from Ben Sanders. That wraps it for today, guys. If you enjoyed this tag, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you would like to, I would love it if you'd subscribe and be part of my little book community here. See you next time, guys. Bye.